everybody. Welcome back to CV Freaks podcast. I'm your host, Eden Gray, and I'm very happy to welcome my special guest today, Jean-Luc from Polaxis. Hello, Jean-Luc.
Hi there, Eden. Nice to meet you again.
Nice to see you again since Super Booth. That was the last time I saw you. It was so much fun, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It was amazing to see you and everybody, but you didn't have a booth this year.
No, I'm really busy with my normal bread and butter work, let's say. For me, Polaxis is still quite a hobby, and then I don't have the possibility to invest more time into it. So I have some choice to make, and today,
But you
it's
did
a
have
second
you had the booth the first year, right?
last year. Yeah,
Last year.
depend on my priorities on the moment. So I wish I could dedicate more time for Polaxis, but at the moment it's not possible.
You're doing a lot of music right now, or
No, I'm developing a product for a customer, so it requires almost it's a almost full-time job. So I'm trying to spend at least 1 day per week for Polaxis. Usually it's my Saturday and some part of the Wednesday. And but I'm still very active, even though I'm not publishing anything, but I'm developing modules I'm always having a module on the bench, let's say, being developed. So I just released a new one a month ago, and I'm working on the second one also. So I have a pipe on different stage, let's say breadboarding or just the ID, or one is in production. So let's say I'm working on 3 modules all the times. Yes.
that's so great. So
yeah, but when I say module, it's sub modules. So you know the EMI, which is it's kind of a Swiss Army knife for me to do speech synth, and then because there is a port at the back of EMI, I can develop sub daughter board which you plug into the EMI. So that's what I'm talking about. I'm developing sub module for the EMI platform.
The expander, right?
Yes. Oh, someone is talking to me. Yeah. I don't. Yeah.
So the Emmy is one, and then you have the other ones that also have names, right?
The main one is Miami, and I start with a Talco. So
right.
let's say I've got 2 modules, but today I've got 8 sub modules that go into the EMI.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
it does a lot. So it's got all these sounds inside that you've put in there, and then you can also put in your own sounds to make the speech.
It actually depends on which software is hosted or which module is hosted. So the EMI is just a naked module which emulate the Speak and Spell's chip, let's say, and the others, they are real chips. So I'm really fond of finding old vintage chip and then going through the data sheet and try to understand how I can make squeeze the most juice out of this module. But they are all behaving completely differently. So, and some, yes, they're totally different. Some they can do text to speech, so you just feed them with a text and it will render the text as speech. Some other you need to string phonemes together to make a sentence. Some will do this with a very high accuracy as the time is important, so you can do glitch or tempo aware. Some are not tempo aware, but they would do a high quality speech. And then you just, yes, it's kind of you ask the module to say this, but you can't have it saying in on time, for example. So they are all behaving differently, depend what you want to do. Yes.
Right. I used the speak and spell setting in my
Yes.
performance just this past weekend, and somebody recognized that it was from Speak and Spell. So cool.
Yes, the EMI. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I've got 2 algorithms inside. You can either mimic the Speak and Spell or also mimic the TI-99/4, which was an old desktop computer. And so if you play with the keyboard on EMI and then you do you type the text or the spell, you can hear the spell from the 2 algorithms. So you can have fun with the different voices.
Yeah, so okay, for everybody who doesn't know Polaxis, you started in 2016, right? Around there?
Yeah, around there. Yeah, 15 years. Yes.
And based in Belgium. And a bit of your background, like educational or musical.
Yeah, I'm not at all musical. I'm a bioengineer by my degree, so it's a 5-year degree to learn about food and agriculture and chemistry, food chemistry. But since I'm a teenager, so I'm 60 now. I've just been 60 last week.
Happy
So
birthday.
thanks. So since I'm a teenager, I was passionate about talking device, and I've been, let's say, contaminated by Kraftwerk. I was using living in Germany, and it has a very strong influence on me. And I started to develop electronic circuit back in 1980s. And since that moment, I was having fun with speech synth, and it never stopped being something I love to do. So I've developed a hobby making some electronics device, and no, that's also what I do as a main work. I also develop electronic equipment, but for the biotech industry. So, but the tool chain and it's exactly the same. So I'm developing with microcontroller with the same tool chain. It's just the output is different. In one, I would drive motor, display, touch screens, and on the other, I make sounds. But it's the same set of skills I'm using.
And what are you using to code
I'm
mostly?
doing C++ coding here, and I have a C++.
That's awesome. How much time do you have something on the bench like breadboarding until it's ready?
It can take a year.
About a year.
Because it's just I'm working, I call this slice by slice. So I have a to-do list. I would sit for an hour, just do one function, and then another morning just doing another function, and sometimes I spend a day because something didn't work. So recently I spent many days trying to fix something, and it didn't work, so I had to reduce my ambition. But yeah, so I can spend a lot of time coding. That's where I spend most of my time. So I start with a breadboard first. So I have an example here. I mean, everybody knows what a breadboard is, but this one, let me unplug it. This one is just a test board I received that has a very, very nice voice. I just discovered this thing. It's yeah, I love it. So I've decided I will do a module. So I've already made a pre-module that goes at the back. You can see this is EMI, and I've got the same chip there. It's a huge fat chip, but the voice is just truly amazing, with a lot of deep voices and on with even onboard reverbs and things like that. So it's quite crazy.
Wow, so
You want to hear it?
yes, please, yes.
Okay, let's see if I can say hello and then feed it. Yup, disconnected, of course. Oh, boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Yeah, the setup was done this morning, and now I need to. Yeah, let's try this. Disconnect, connect. Hello, I'm typing something. Yeah, I need to feed the volume inside. Let's see if you can hear this. No, nothing's coming out. Why? Oh, of course. Yeah, I have to switch up some of these. Voilà. This one should be okay. Hello. Yeah, this is correct. So let me feed this. Hello. You hear the hello? Hello.
Yes.
Okay, now let's do something a bit more fun. I will change the voice. So this is, let's say, the default voice, but there is 10 voice inside. And so I just will send a command A, voice number 7. It's quite fun, 70. So now I've got another voice. Let's send in a sentence just for fun. And you will see there is a lot of reverb.
one of these radioactive substances, krypton 85, will cause death and skin cancer.
So that's one voice. And the voice I like also is this one.
One of these radioactive substances, krypton 85, will cause death and skin cancer.
So it's really cool. I don't have to do anything. I just have to send the text command, and then it just say the text I'm sending to. I already have a module like this. It's called FREQS, which is a deck talk engine, which was quite famous in the 80s and 90s. Deck talk engine was famous because it was used by. Oh, I've got a blank. No, I don't know. I forgot the name of the guy using that voice, but it's a famous voice. And you can also send. So I've got some people doing, like, I call it digital poetry. You would feed a long text, and the speech engine would go through the text. So you've got kind of a narrator speaking for you, and then you can tweak the voice in many different parameters to have the voice faster, the pitch, the breathiness, the size of the head. So many parameters you can change.
Yeah, that was a really deep one that we could definitely hear that in some electro kind of vibes. Definitely Kraftwerk. And the built-in reverb is awesome too.
Yes.
So when you said it's like a deeper voice because of the chip, why is that? Do you know?
What do you mean?
I'm not sure, because you said you had a big fat chip. That's the new chip.
Yeah. Oh, it's just because the chip is really huge and expensive. So some chip are really small and cheaper, and some are more complex, and they can do some. The basic from the 80s, they just could do only phoneme, but this one is just like a microcontroller system. So you just with so many parameters that you can tweak, and then the data sheet is 50-page long. So this is what I take to bed, and I'm dreaming about, oh, I will send that parameter and this parameter to tweak the voice in as many possible as yes, to tweak the voices in many directions. Sometimes I can do MIDI. A lot of my modules, they do MIDI, so you can sequence the phoneme with Ableton or another sequencer. It works really well.
Wow.
The most impressive one is what I call RoboVox. In fact, it was developed by Kraftwerk in the 90s. They had a patent for this, and I reproduce a replica for the RoboVox, and it worked exactly as the genuine machine. And I can demo also this and playing with MIDI. So the RoboVox. It's embedded inside so I have the ME inside the box, if you wish. So this is what I call terminal. It's just the ME. There is inside a power supply that would, out of the 5-volt from the USB, would produce the plus and minus 12 you need for any Eurorack module for the amp, let's say, and the analog part of it. So this is just the ME in a box, but it's totally standalone. So you can powered via USB, but it also, of course, can be used in MIDI. And you can also connect an external keyboard if you want to type your text. And so here I've got a special one for me, which I cut out the panel so I can change the chip without dismantling always. So I know also what I have inside. And I will connect now the so-called RoboVox, which is the chip that was used by Kraftwerk to do some famous songs. And the only problem is that chip is totally obsolete and impossible to find. So I got like 20 of these. I bought them, and then today I'm sold out. It's really a pity, because I wish I would have 100 of this chip. I could really develop something really funny, because the voice is totally outstanding, let's say. So let me show you how it sounds. I need an audio in this one. This one. This one, and yes. Okay. So now I will use the Ableton as a sequencer.
Okay.
To have Ableton via MIDI to send the various phoneme to make a sentence, for example. That's all they were using. Kraftwerk was doing this. The skills you need to have is to find the correct phoneme to say the correct sound, find the correct timing to put it exactly in time and says the phoneme when you need, and then finding the correct tune to have it, because you can send a pitch command to the chip and then it will tune it correctly. And for this, it is crazy. I don't know how many months they must have spent at that time to do this, but I know one guy is also using the RoboVox. He's kind enough to share some MIDI snippet with me. So because he's a musician and he's very literate, and what he does is truly amazing. So let me try to speed it up a bit. So you've got the idea. So here you're stringing. Did you hear that? So you're stringing phonemes together, but there is no pitch involved here. So let me so what you can do with the pitch. So this is rhythm and pitch, and another even more accurate rendering, this one. So this is amazing what the chip can do, huh? And there's a secret function in the chip that you can do a vocoder mode. So if I feed this signal to the chip, so I will feed this, and I just let's say, for example, this example. What's wrong here? I'm not at the right setting. I'm lost. I'm lost.
Uh-oh.
Too many stuff running at the same. Where is my audio? Oh, here. Best to go on C, not on B, sorry. So what I'm doing here, I'm replacing the internal vocal track that they used to make the vowels and the voices, and I'm feeding an external signal into the chip. And so you can have all this very creative effect from the chip itself. So I'm just feeding that signal you heard before to the chip, this signal. That's what I was feeding in.
Yeah, it's like creating a chord effect.
Yes. So this is the RoboVox.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Awesome.
So I'm doing this with many chips, trying to squeeze the juice out of them.
And do you ever try to make something like sound like Kraftwerk there at home or in your studio?
Myself, no. I tried, but honestly, I have such a backlog of things I need to finish so mainly I'm coding, and if I'm not coding, I'm making hardware, and when I'm done, I'm shipping or dealing with my website. So making music, it's something I don't do. I wish I do. I mean, I just run a loop I just make a drum track and a bass track just to check that what I do is it's really in thing with the tempo.
Yeah.
Yes, and then I post a video when I do something, but that's really the minimum I do.
Yeah, it really reminds me of the Radioactivity, one of those tracks from that album. Not Radioactivity track, but a different one, one of the weirder ones, you know.
Yeah, the sentence here is really from Kraftwerk, so yeah, that's why it sounds exactly the same, because it was a chip they were using.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It is a chip they were using. So it's a replica of the tool they invented.
And that's the new one is the new one is
not this is already 1 or 2 years old. No, I'm working on a SPO 256. It's another chip from it was quite famous. It was sold in Tandy Radio Shack in the US. But you could go in a store and just buy this chip. That's what I did when I was 20, and then I made already a speech in at the time. And that's the last one I'm working on.
Oh yeah, Radio Shack. I remember Radio Shack.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and then this chip is cool because it can have a steady note. So you send phonemes, and it will hold the phoneme until the next one is shipped in. So you can have a singing effect. And while the phoneme is on, you can play with the volume and the pitch. So you can start to develop also some singing capability to the chip. Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's so fantastic.
So I can run it with either MIDI, or I can run it with a CV. So here I have a CV. Mm-hmm. Let me see if I can make it sound to you. Yes, this one should be okay. So here I'm sequencing. I don't know if you can see this, but I have a sequencer running and then sending different CVs to trigger different phonemes, and then a gate triggering the phonemes, and then the length of the gates will also set the duration of the note. So, for example, here I've got a very slow gate, but I can also have the signal, the ratio longer. So now it will hold the note. And while the note is on, I can pitch it. So you can, for example, envelope. If you add an envelope there, you can have something fun at every gate. And same with the volume. In real time. And then I would group the phoneme in different categories. So, for example, this is just vowels. Let's say speed it up. I can also repeat it. So that's the last one I'm working on.
Is that using any filtering?
No. Straight out of the box. There is no filter involved, just direct. But I bought myself a Zoom voice effect, which is really cool for voice, but it's because my stuff is voice. So if you feed it to the voice effect, it's really amazing. I can demo this. Boom, 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 boom. Let me see where it is. Blue out. Yeah. So now I will send it to the effect. Yeah, here. Here I've got some reverb. And here I can play the form and character. They call this robot effect. So you see, it's quite cool to have a speech SIP process like it was a human voice into another electronic device. Quite cool.
Yeah, that sounds so cool. Sounds really, really amazing with that low effect.
Yeah.
So let's see. So I guess I'll see you next year there again, right?
I hope, yes.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm going every year as I just love it so much. Was there anything really cool that you loved that you saw there?
Oh, mainly I like to see the concert because the gear I've got enough gears and I'm not really considering myself as a musician. I just need a band, let's say, that's why I mentioned drums and bass and just something to make something in the background and my voice use as a spice. So yeah, I think I've got enough device for the moment. So what I like to see is people practicing and doing music with just watching the gigs, and I really liked.
Did you like the Adam TM? That was...
Yeah, of course. Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, did I mention he's a customer also? He's got the RoboVox and a MiaVox also. But
yeah, I'm not surprised.
And he's
by
using
that.
a lot of he's using a lot of speech SIP, but I never recognize my own stuff in what he's doing. He's producing something every 3 weeks, I think. If you follow what he does, it's just truly amazing.
Oh,
I really
really?
like what he does. Yeah. Yes,
I didn't know he was.
And no, you can buy stuff online. I forgot, maybe on Bandcamp, but he's also publishing on YouTube and Spotify. So if you just subscribe to his stuff, it's just really so generous because every 3 weeks there is a new album or something. So
wow,
it's difficult to catch up. Yeah.
I had no idea. I mean,
yeah.
I just remember that from many, many years ago when he was doing something that sounded like one of your things. You know, he used a simple little blip of a phoneme in the beat, and I loved it. Just thought it was so... Yeah. I saw him perform actually at the CTM festival back in 2015. He had a visual of like a big head, I think.
Yeah, yes.
Remember that?
Yeah.
But this time was different with the whole very hypnotic, slow visuals. It was a very hypnotic, slow building set.
Yeah, I like kind of glitch music, let's say non-musical, or I don't know what to call it. Yeah,
kind of
non-melodic
atonal
music.
Yeah, atonal.
Yeah, atonal. Yes, that's the word I was looking for. And then my son is doing the opposite. He doesn't understand why I don't need notes. I don't need notes. I don't care about notes. But yeah, I like aton. I like Alvanotto also. This kind of of glitchy. This put me such in a relaxed mode when I listen to this kind of the sound of the machine. What I call the sound of the machine. Yes, like glitch and fax machine and hard disk machines, this kind of thing. Yeah,
totally agree. 100%.
Yeah.
So thanks for the demo today, Jean-Luc. I really, really appreciate you being here and sharing with everybody what you do. I've been amazed by it since I first saw it because, I did my master's in speech vocal synthesis, and I was just like, I didn't really understand a vocoder that you just kind of type into and you can't speak into, but yeah,
it's really amazing. Still amaze me that we can still do something about it, because nowadays everything is done by computers, and then so that's why when I can find a lot of chips, I just buy like 150 chips, even though because I know they're going to be extinct, and today nobody wants a computer that speak like a machine. But for us, let's say, to make music and to make something funny, you don't want a perfect voice. You want a little tweak. You want to feel like it's at least I do. I want to feel it's a machine, and even bend it, even, you know, like a machine that doesn't function very well, like I don't know, an old photocopier machine or coffee machine, or even a bin that would be talking. I have a very funny Chinese Chinglish one. It's called Sinovox. It speaks English, but it has a Chinese accent, so it's really funny. And it speaks Chinese quite well too. So,
oh,
so
wow.
you just plug it. You also plug it at the back of EMI, and it does text to speech. So you just feed a normal text to it, and it will say it with a Chinglish accent, like with female and male voices. Yeah, it's quite fun.
Where did you find that one?
Yeah, I spend all my spare time searching for chips. So of course I buy it in China. Yeah.
Oh, that's so awesome. So crazy. One day I'll probably try to make something. I'm trying to get my head around how everything works, you know.
Yeah, once you'll be used with EMI, maybe it will be time for you to try an extra chip at the back of EMI to try something different.
Yeah, so you can pick one and just try things. Like,
sorry.
So how do you pick them? Like, I mean, how would I go about? Do I just find a chip to attach to it?
No. If you want to use it, I need to send you let's say a chip that you plug at the back of EMI, and then you load the firmware from the SD card. So my customer, what they do is they have got EMI, and then when they see something new from my website, they would purchase the new module, just stick it at the back of EMI, load the firmware on the front SD card, and there is a menu, say load new firmware, and then 20 seconds later, you're running the new firmware. And if you want to go back to EMI, you just load EMI firmware back to EMI, and then you can keep the module at the back. And then in fact, you've got two modules at the moment you have one. So it's quite easy to update or to, and I make also update to the software. Some people asking, yeah, can you add a filter in MIDI that would do this function, and then blah, blah, blah. So I just update it and post it, and they can use it. Yeah.
Amazing. Does so much stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so you want to say anything else?
No, I totally understand. It's a bit complex, so people a bit sometimes doesn't understand why me and then why the other, but it's just total different beast. I'm trying to have something harmonized, but they just do something totally different. But
yes, indeed.
focused on the speech.
Mm-hmm.
I just spend, because I could also put the, I don't know, the chiptune chip or a MIDI chip or something else, but I'm focusing on speech. What I did a small extra. I had a radio chip and I put it together and got FM chips, so you can listen to FM radio with EMI. But that was most like a joke, because it was so easy to do for me. It took me a month to have the code and everything ready. So. And I've got some people using it as a radio. So since Patcher has a lot of my modules, he likes them very well. He uses a lot of the VAX, because also what he likes is while the module is talking, the text is also sent out via the MIDI, the USB connection, so you can have the text being also displayed on your computer while it's speaking. So you can synchronize the sound and the text, to project the text, for example, in a gig or on a video.
Yeah, it's amazing. It sounds great live. Well, I'm gonna say I'll catch up with you soon, and thank you again for being my guest. And
it was nice to meet you again. Thank you for your interest in my stuff.
Yeah, it's so great. So we'll see you later, okay? Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thank you.
I hope so.
Yeah, we will.
Thank you, Eden. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.